and welcome back to second topic, the dual processing model. This is in chapter 5, manipulation. There's only one lesson for the dual processing model, and that is just to cover the model itself. The studies and the examples actually come in the next topic on cognitive biases. Kind of handy. So today we're learning about system 1 and system 2. So students should know, if we say the dual processing model, they know what that means, and that's really understanding what system 1 and system 2 are and what the key difference is between them. Fast and slow, couldn't be simpler. And then knowing what heuristics are and how they demonstrate the dual processing model. Alright, so a quick check-in on the homework. They watched the video and answered the questions. Knowing the 3 qualities of a gift will be really helpful, I think, and it would really add value to an explanation of reciprocity in any short answer question on compliance techniques. Okay, so then you can chalk and talk the answers to the homework question, and then there's a quick 4-question quiz just about compliance techniques. Okay, I tried something different here with this little quiz review, with a kind of making you fill in the blanks. I'm hoping that just makes it just that slightly bit more engaging for students. They're just natural problem solvers, right? Right, the Iowa gambling task, no introduction needed. Just tell students, hey, we're going to do some gambling. Who can make the most money? Click blank, and away they go. So they will need their laptops for this. So I give 8 minutes for students to find the link to do the task and then to complete. And it's really interesting to walk around the room and see who figures out the pattern and who doesn't. If you haven't done the Iowa gambling task before, I recommend you have a go at this yourself ahead of time. Also, just make sure it works on your school's network system. So the idea behind this is that there are 4 decks of cards. 2 have high, short-term, long-term. Actually, I'm not going to explain it. You can work it out because most of you will probably not. Now, if the game doesn't work, I've got a video here that shows how it works, and then a very poor quality video of the guy who developed it, Bakara, explaining it in that video. All right, so most adults figure it out after 20 to 30 trials. Teenagers might be different, and one reason is prefrontal cortex, I think, right? That idea to resist the short-term reward, go for the longer-term benefit is prefrontal cortex function. And in my anecdotal observations, it typically means it's the academic students, the ones, that do well, that figure out the pattern faster than the other students. Right, why do we do this? Well, they'll find out later. Let's do an experiment. Now, this lesson is all about experiments. These are replications of Kahneman and Tversky's that I took from a news article and the interview that you'll see with him later. So there's one about beginning with R. These are copy and pasted from my first edition resources if they look familiar to you. Now, let's go through the answers. I added this little tweak where we do the answer after all 3. So that way there's no demand characteristics. Okay. Why do we do it? They'll find out later. Let's do another experiment. Here we're going to do the fame-based availability heuristic, if I've got that in the right order. Ready? Now, I've got a note here. So pause the screen so the students don't see the words, but here are the names for you to read out. There are 39 names here, mixed between famous and not famous. Then we get students, how many can you remember? Right? So write them down, and then check your answers. How many did you get? And then come up on the board. I like to give students whiteboards. Come up on the board and write your scores up there on the board, and then get a volunteer to calculate the average, or you can calculate the average as they write them up, and then see, did it work, right? Why did we do it? Well, let's see if we can figure out from the following video. Daily Motion's not working for me. That's a better version. This is a YouTube version where, to avoid copyright infringement, they've got a very small screen, but you get the idea. I can't find another source for this excellent BBC doco, sorry. All right, dual processing model, a simple bit of chalk and talk about this. That's copied straight out of the textbook. The Iowa gambling task, explaining how that uses system 1 and system 2, explaining what a heuristic is. And then I never actually got back to the question of why do we do those experiments? Well, you can explain it. We were manipulating their system 1 thinking and we're tapping into their system 1. So if you want to go back and explain, maybe I'll add some slides here for the Kahneman experiments and the fame-based ones. Anyway, workbook notes. Homework is to finish today's notes since it was a lot of experiments. The key idea there is that students grasp the idea of system 1, system 2, and they know those experiments because we've just done them. Right, next lesson. No, that was the end of the topic. So that's the dual processing model, and we'll review it over the next few lessons like we always do. And then we're going to get into cognitive biases, anchoring and confirmation bias.